Warning, spoilers ahead. Today, I'm going to recap a Korean action crime film released in 2014, called The Con Artists. A genius con artist is forced to do a $150 million heist by the leader of a gangster organization. But things don't go as planned. Will he be able to finish the job? Let's find out together. The story starts with a man infiltrating an office building. He stealthily tries to crack a safe while the security is trying to figure out the reason for the blackout. They check the whole building and find that the safe in the CEO room has been cracked open. With his parkour skill and some James Bond shit, the infiltrator successfully runs away with an expensive artifact. That infiltrator's name is Lee, a skilled safecracker and con artist. He has a partner named Goo. After the heist, they check on the loot, but the fragile artifact is broken into pieces. Instead of repairing it, Lee decides to smash it and make a new fake one. This completely puzzled Goo. But the genius Lee seems to have a plan already. They visit a famous artifact authenticator and try to sell the artifact. Of course, the authenticator immediately realizes that it is fake. But the cunning Lee successfully persuade him anyway. Meanwhile, somewhere else in the city, an accountant of a wanted mob organization leader is being chased. Before he can get to the police, the mob leader's henchmen intercept him. The leader's name is Chairman Joe, a ruthless gangster that is wanted by the police. The accountant wanted to sell him to the police, so Chairman Joe silences him by cementing him in the ground. After being done with the last heist, Lee now tries to make counterfeit bills. The ink tone, viscosity, concentration, and durability are right, but alcohol will easily wear it off. Even a genius has his limit, so he gives up on it. Somewhere in an art gallery, Eun-ha and the gallery owner are discussing a potential investor. Eun-ha, who is an art expert that organizes the art exhibition there, wants to avoid the suspicious investor. But the gallery owner persuades her to accept it since the investor only wants to exhibit a picture of his dream woman in exchange for a $1 million investment. They decide to meet the investor first, who is no other than our boy Lee. What makes Eun-ha surprised is the picture of his dream woman looks exactly like her. This somewhat makes her bashful. What is Lee planning now? After some talk, they decide to accept Lee. On the way back home, Lee explains to Goo that the investment is part of his other plan. To make the plan work, they need a hacker. So Goo visits his old acquaintance, a skilled hacker named Jong. The three of them then meet at a bar to discuss. Although there is some rumor that Jong has betrayed other partners in his past work, Lee still accepts him for some reason. Next, they need a hideout. So Goo calls his other acquaintance, Turbo. Turbo provides them with a hidden hideout at a strategic place and helps them with rough works. At first, Turbo doesn't like the share ratio he gets. But Lee's sweet tongue convinced him easily. They start the plan by scouting their target, which is the jewelry street. After getting enough data, they discuss the plan in their hideout and prepare some tools. But before they can execute the plan, they need to get into one of the jewelry store's VIP rooms to scout it. On the next day, he meets Eun-ha to do a follow-up on the investment. During the talk, Lee keeps suggestively asking about what he will get in return from her. Which makes Eun-ha thinks that Lee expects much more than business from her. She then confronts him when Lee is eyeing her chest area. Lee apologizes and explains that the necklace she is wearing has caught his attention. It's a necklace from her late father, but she never knows that it is that special. Lee then invites her to check the necklace at one of the jewelry shops. It turns out that the stone on the necklace is a rare collectible item. The shop attendant invites them to the VIP room, but after hiding a suitcase under the chair, Lee tells her that they will come back later. They go to another jewelry shop nearby and get the same reaction from the shop attendant. This time they go inside the VIP room. Thanks to this, Lee is able to scout the VIP room. Chairman Joe is also starting to plan his own heist. He needs a skilled safecracker for it, but he doesn't have one now. So he tells his right-hand man to start hunting all known famous safecracker and audition them for the heist. His men start to kidnap all famous safecracker. They test them one by one and eliminate who fails the test. But none of them has the skill he is looking for. Now that Lee's plan is ready, his team starts to execute the plan. Goo pretends to be a drunk man to trigger the alarm of the first jewelry shop. The suitcase that Lee hid earlier inside causes a fire and makes the police busy while they rob the second shop. After Jong disables the CCTV and security sensors, they get into the VIP room easily. With that, they successfully trick the police and rob the jewelry store. Unknown to them, Chairman Joe owns the store. He isn't that disturbed by the robbery because now he finds the man he needs for the job. Turbo goes to a stolen goods dealer to sell the diamond, but it turns out that Chairman Joe has put his men at all dealers in town to find the robber's identity. His men follow Turbo and get the team's picture. After doing a background check, Chairman Joe and his men go to Lee's hideout. At night, Lee arrives and notices something off. With a pipe in his hand, he goes inside. But he is outnumbered. Chairman Joe introduces himself and asks Lee to work under him. But for some reason, he rejects the offer. This forces Chairman Joe to kidnap them and hold them captive. After some days, Chairman Joe asks them again. He tells them that the heist is worth $150 million. He also threatened them by showing pictures of Koo's sister, Jong's father, and Eun-ha, who they thought to be Lee's girlfriend. If they accept, he will forget about the diamond they robbed and give them a 5% commission each. After considering for a while, Lee accepts the offer. Because Lee was in captivity, he missed a lot of calls from Eun-ha. Meanwhile, the police start to get some lead for the robbery case. They find Lee holding the suitcase that caused the fire on CCTV footage. On the following day, they start to discuss Chairman Joe's heist. Their target is Incheon Customs, the first entry point in Korea for all imports and exports. It has the tightest security system in Asia to filter smuggled goods. It turns out that some corrupt politicians hide $150 million of slush fund somewhere inside Incheon Customs. Chairman Joe has a paper company that export food coupon from Incheon Customs. Since it's impossible to take 3 tons worth of money outside the customs in such a short time, they plan to get the money and hide it by swapping it with the food coupon. The team starts to prepare for the heist. Suddenly, Chairman Joe calls Jong and gives him a bag of money. He knows Jong's backstabbing nature after he finds Lee and Koo's robbery footage on his phone. He tells him to monitor Lee and Koo behind their back for him. Meanwhile, Lee is drinking soju alone on the rooftop. He remembers when he and his late mentor drink together. His mentor is a legendary con artist named Mr. O. For some reason, he then calls Eun-ha to apologize for missing her call. On the next day, he takes a walk with Eun-ha and discusses the gallery's future project in Abu Dhabi. But suddenly, they are stopped by the police. They take Lee for questioning. After hours of interrogation, they can't prove his crime and release him. He then tries to call Eun-ha, but she doesn't answer his call. In the morning, Lee calls Chairman Joe, so he comes to Lee's apartment. Chairman Joe realizes that some undercover police are in the lobby. So he goes back first using the stair and tells his right-hand man to get Lee. They get rid of all traces of their plan first before running away. After knowing that the wanted Chairman Joe is visiting Lee, the police burst open his door. But they find nothing inside until one of them finds a secret room full of the heist plan. Why does Lee leave those pieces of evidence behind? One day before the heist, Jong and Koo go to the port in disguise to set up a distraction bomb and the hacking device. On the night, Lee tells Koo that he finds a way to double-cross Chairman Joe by changing the paper company's export address details to him. Jong hears this and reports back to Chairman Joe. But he still needs Lee to crack open the safe, so he let him for now. He also finds out about his relation to the legendary Mr. O. Before the heist, Lee goes to meet Eun-ha. But she seems to be avoiding him. This forces him to tell her about his relationship with his late father. It turns out Eun-ha is the daughter of the legendary Mr. O. The day when Lee had a drink with him was the day when Chairman Joe's man killed him. He tells her that he planned this from the start to get revenge on him. Lee tells her to hide until the job is done, but the stubborn Eun-ha refuses. Maybe he feels betrayed by the charming Lee. Not long after that, she gets kidnapped by Chairman Joe's man. On the heist day, all personnel get into disguise as planned and infiltrate the custom. Chairman Joe triggers the distraction bomb remotely while Jong hacks their system, which forces them to do a manual reset. This makes all CCTV and sensors disabled for 45 minutes. In this short time, Lee and Koo go to the secure room and barely manage to crack the safe open. Now all they need to do is swap the coupon in a nearby container with the van. They need to make multiple trips due to the sheer amount of money. The police are starting to arrive at the scene. They are about to leave after their last trip, but Lee decides to stay back to decoy the police. But in reality, he goes to the customs office to change Chairman Joe's company detail. Realizing Lee's plan, he goes to the office to stop him. He also tells Lee that he killed Mr. O because he rejected his offer to work under him. Chairman Jo forces Lee to go to the police with a bomb. Of course, he refuses. But Chairman Jo shows Eun-ha's necklace, which makes him have no other choice. He then drives towards the police to get their attention. After he gets cornered, he tries to jump to the sea but gets shot and drowns. The bomb also explodes not long after that. Over the radio, they confirm that Lee has been shot dead by the police. Goo becomes shocked after hearing this while Jong acts happy as it means they will get more commission. This angers Goo and leads them to fight. In the midst of the fight, Jong stabs him and leaves him for dead inside a container. A few weeks have passed, and Chairman Jo awaits the container shipment. When he opens it, there is no money inside, only food coupons. Suddenly, he gets a phone call from our boy Lee telling him that the police are on the way there. But what actually happened? How is he still alive? It turns out that it's all part of his plan. The police that shot him was Turbo in disguise using a fake bullet. He also told Jong to act as a backstabber from the start. Goo didn't know this, but Jong gave him a hint when they fought and pretended to be stabbed. He was then rescued by Turbo. The police start to raid the place. Amidst the chaos, Jong saves Eun-ha while Chairman Jo escapes the scene. After things calm down, Goo and Jong come in disguise to take the food coupon. Remember the fake money ink Lee experimented with? It turns out Turbo and his men printed coupons over the money during the heist secretly. The ink appears slowly due to oxidation. When Chairman Jo opened the container, he thought that the money was gone. But actually, the money was in front of him all along. To seal his deal with Chairman Jo, Lee rams his car into him. He takes back Eun-ha's necklaces and leaves him to the cop. Back at their hideout, they use alcohol to change back the coupon into real money. Lee sends some money to Eun-ha as the investment money he promised. He then disappears for a while. The story ends with Eun-ha going to Abu Dhabi for her gallery event. To her surprise, she finds her missing necklace being displayed there. After looking around, she also finds her painting. Lee then appears slowly behind her. What a beautiful story. If that doesn't make her fall for Lee, I don't know what will. Every decent con man knows that the simplest truth is more powerful than even the most elaborate lie. Clever as the devil and twice as pretty. What do you think about Lee's genius plan? Let us know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Thank you for watching, and as always, see you next time.